afternoon, good evening, traders from across the globe, and welcome to the 1,477th installment of Short-Term Trading Live with Oscar. Good evening, traders. This video, the 1,477th installment, is coming to you on a Wednesday night for Trading Thursday. That would be, I have to look, June 9th, 2016. Traders, before we get into what's on the board, futures trading, as we know, is extremely risky. If you didn't know that, boy, you should, or you're going to find out. Futures trading is not suitable for all traders. You've got to use stops. You've got to know that the stop doesn't always work, but in most cases, a stop is absolutely your best friend. Put your stops in, put them in first, and then put your positions on. All right, traders, so what is on the board for trading on Thursday, June 9th? Here's what I've got to say. Green Omni, love it, love it, love it. You know what? Clap for the green Omnis, because we love clapping for green Omnis. Omni, in the last few days, has been putting out fantastic trades, catching basically the lows and highs and everything it's been touching. So pay attention to this Omni lately. It's been hot. Green Omni, ES, NASDAQ, Russell, usual suspects. We're expecting some upside, but not just there. As you know, I have been telling you since March, April, that we will have the biggest grains year we've seen in many years this year. Have you been watching the grains? I didn't just say it now. I didn't just say it 3 weeks ago. I have been keeping this as a theme at my site and in my videos since it started. Grains are starting to pop. What does that bring us to? Failure to raise interest rates creates rallies or bullish channels. And if you ask me, it's nothing more than inflation. Traders, anybody who's been to my website knows I think you should have been raising rates since last year. Forget about December 1 and not raising again. I think that when you get the slightest whiff of inflation today, you raise rates today because 2 to 3 years from now, the inflation becomes huge. We are starting to see commodities inflation all over the board, and I know from my experience that bullish channels or rallies in commodities is real inflation, kids. Why? Because if it costs more for that commodity to be purchased, to brought to the factory, to be made into a product, it's going to cost you more for that product when it comes out to market. That's called inflation. That's one of the ways anyway. So commodities inflation is real inflation, and what is causing it? The dollar's demise, the dollar's weakness, U.S. dollar weakness plunging. Why? Once again, failure to raise rates. Aunt Janet, where the hell are you? Listen, at several different pool parties that I've invited you to, I've pretended to tell you, because you never showed up, that you're supposed to raise rates. Now, time has passed, and I think you should have already. My opinion from watching for 35 years, maybe I'm completely wrong, but for 35 years I've been watching these markets, and this is what we get when a whiff of inflation comes and no one raises rates. We'll see what's going to happen, traders. I'd like to show you some charts. LiveWithOscar.com is where you would find me. In a moment, I'm going to show you a bunch of great charts. Stay tuned. With no further ado, let's go look at some charts. Okay, traders, chart one, a very familiar chart. You've seen this in many, many videos. We know we've had the big build-up to the head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, the head and shoulders formation. Then we've got this Oscarism thing called a head test. So this is a weekly. It takes a very long time for this to take place. So here we are, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. We get the head test, and it fails and backs off. But now, as of the close of Wednesday, we settled about here. We are above that last head test and slightly above the actual head itself. Very, very, very nice to see. Round of applause. Maybe we'll just run away and never look back at this head and shoulders. I'd much prefer that. So it's here. There's no way I wouldn't acknowledge it, but I love what I see there. And Omni certainly for day trading now is bullish and has been bullish for these last few days. So let's see what we get. Hopefully we'll just bounce up here a little further and I can go over to my whiteboard and totally delete, do not fall in love with the upside. For now, that hasn't happened. We're only up here just a little. But I've got confidence. I think that the market's moving higher. I think it looks great. We'll see what's going to happen. The E-mini S&P on the daily, same chart, but now a daily, where this would have been the top of that right shoulder head test. We are above that, as you can see, for 3 days now, which is quite promising. We're inside of an F flag, an Oscarism known as an F flag. Let me blow the F flag up for you slightly so you can see it a little better. We're certainly inside of this F flag and moving higher, and an F flag can stay extended for quite some time, so let's see what we get. But you gotta love the fact that we've bested that head test so far, huh? Bravo for the E-mini S&P. Let's look at more charts though. Traders, gold running up in the form of a channel. Channels all over these charts, and you've got lots of indicators that are confirming gold's move. Gold looks bullish. Let me blow up the channel and show you just what that looks like, because it's going to get interesting now. Big rally in gold that we've had, and another rally beginning, getting into a steep channel. You got to like that. It's not just gold. Here comes the I did not raise rates. Now comes commodity inflation look. Gold, silver. Look at the silver starting to really rally. Traders, this is Wednesday's daily bar. My goodness, are you kidding me? It is starting to go. You had this major bar, little teeny pullback, this major bar. You are starting to get commodity inflation across the board. So you've seen gold and silver. Look at wheat. Look at the steepness lately of this rally, this channel that we're in. Wheat's starting to go. I'm not going to show you too many, but they're all over the map. Soybeans, look at how long this has been going on for. And traders, if you are one of my fans, you know that right about here, I started doing videos to say this would be the biggest grain year we've seen in many years. Look what has happened so far. Omni is a very, very well-tuned instrument. Check this out. Corn. Look at the corn. Corn was in this channel, as you can see. It's all about channels. Corn was in this inflationary channel, and now it's getting into a much steeper, much faster channel. So again, commodities inflation. We can look at something like sugar. Again, was in a channel moving higher, but look at how it's steepened now and is really starting to go. More. I mean, there's so many. I'm only going to show you a few. Look at this one, coffee, but coffee didn't really get out of its own way yet. I mean, coffee just started to break out now. One of the cheaper ones right here. We'll see where it goes. But you are getting commodities inflation across the board. This is just a sampling. There's so many more. And then you've got the reason why. Why is all of this happening? Because the dollar index is deteriorating, and they're not raising interest rates, so it will deteriorate further. And interestingly enough, not only do you keep failing at the top of this channel, but look at OTAPMA, the Omni Trading Academy's proprietary. Watch this marker go, and watch it just drop and hug the top of this channel. Bam, that's OTAPMA right there. Isn't that amazing? The market hits it and fails again like it did here, and failed at the channel here. Channel in OTAPMA here, channel in OTAPMA there. Down we go in the dollar. An F flag is building. More downward pressure, meaning commodities should drive higher while the dollar drives lower. Traders, I'll meet you all at livewithoscar.com. Okay, traders, you've seen the charts, and I would like to give a little shout out to the recent Omniacs that just came through here. My Omni camp that I just had. My goodness, I just watched your testimonials. Wow, heartfelt, gentlemen. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was a bit of magic, was it not? I mean, wow, I really, really felt it this weekend. I know you must have, and everybody seemed to have gotten this down really well. So bravo once again, you Omniacs. You learned how to fish? Go feed your families, okay? All right, traders, livewithoscar.com. That's where you'll find me. Join me in my free trading room. Remember, keep your emotions out of trading. One of the best things you can do to keep those emotions at bay is say this to yourselves every morning, every afternoon, every evening, and you know what that is. and roll live with Oscar.com. I'll see you there. Janet, raise rates, would you please? Futures trading is risky and can cause substantial financial loss. We do not claim or guarantee that you will profit from the information provided.